where did he go? Like, where did Donald Trump go? We really haven't heard from him since the weekend. Yeah, he's made deranged posts. Of course, he does that. He made that weird post that former President Biden got executed in 2020 and then became some sort of robotic manifestation. But Donald Trump hasn't had any public appearances. I mean, I know he was playing golf in Virginia and then playing golf in Virginia again, but really what, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, nothing on his public schedule. And there have been major world events that are happening, right? I mean, you had Ukraine launch what may have been the most incredible military operation against Russia in modern times, right? I mean, destroying 30% of the Russian strategic air fleet, showing that, yes, Ukraine does have the cards. I mean, where's Donald on any of this? I mean, you have Iran basically just mocking Donald Trump now. Donald Trump caved and gave Iran basically everything they wanted, a weaker version of the Obama-Iran deal is what Trump was trying to do with Iran, just so Donald can say that he got a deal. But then Iran basically announced, we don't want to do this deal with Donald. We're probably going to reject it. And as Mike Nellis says, Trump basically gave Iran mostly everything they wanted, including allowing them to enrich uranium, also less powerful enforcement mechanisms than former President Obama. And Iran is still going to reject the deal. That's how weak America looks to the entire world right now, right? You have Ukraine launching that military operation without even telling the United States about it. Why would they? They're worried that Donald Trump would tell Putin. I mean, you go back, as of the time I'm recording this video, Donald Trump posted Tuesday morning some, third grade, no offense to third graders, bullying attacks at MAGA Republican Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky for not supporting Trump's disastrous budget bill. But as Elon Musk was out there attacking Donald Trump's budget bill over and over and over, Elon Musk calls it an absolute abomination, saying that anybody who supports this is basically a crook. Nothing from Donald Trump, no posts, no public statements, nothing at all. It's been a very bizarre thing. I mean, I guess everywhere Donald Trump goes, though, he turns on this cable news channel, that cable news channel. I mean, they're just talking about taco this, taco that. He's a laughing stock here in the United States. I mean, Trump always chickens out. I've been seeing these TikTok songs, Trump always chickens out. Trump always chickens out. I mean, just even watch how, of all places on CNN, how they're covering it. Here, play this clip.
Was Googled with Donald Trump on Thursday it was taco. It was taco. Indeed, get this. The terms Trump and taco Googled together up through the roof. Get this. 9,900% increase on Thursday versus Tuesday. So if you are wondering whether or not this Trump always chickens out and the acronym taco actually has entered the mainstream, well, Google gives it away. It 100% has. And this to me is quite troubling for Donald Trump because obviously he trades on his name. He trades on the idea that he does what he says. And if all of a sudden you're associating Trump always chickens out with Donald Trump, well, that is no bueno.
Yeah. And as Donald Trump is MIA, you have Walmart announcing it's going to have to cut some Florida store jobs after recent immigration rulings. And the Trump regimes, they've put this quota. They want to deport 3,000 migrants every day. So they're going into communities right now and they're raiding restaurants, courthouses, construction sites, and other places of work to take migrants out. I mean, they ripped out 18-year-olds and mothers who are breastfeeding. I mean, horrific stuff. And deporting people, all while Donald Trump remains in hiding. No statement from Donald Trump about the fact that South Korea's presidential elections resulted in the center-left candidate Lee Jae-myung winning the presidency there. Here's a guy who left school at 13 to work in factories. He suffered an injury that left him disabled. Undeterred, he became a human rights lawyer, as Anonymous writes, And now he's the president. Just think about it too. Yesterday you had, even with all of the things that he's going through, former President Biden wishing the former First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jilly. I love you. But look, Trump is still a threat while he's in hiding. I'm not sure, who's running Donald Trump's auto pen or who's pulling the strings. Is it Stephen Miller? Who is it? But here's some news that we learned yesterday, that the Trump regime is planning to move Greenland from the purview of the U.S. European Command to the U.S. Northern Command. Now, Malcolm Nance explains why this is very dangerous. He says this isn't good news, but it was expected if you're trying, like the Trump regime wants to do, to annex Greenland. Yes, the move is technically legal, but it's an operational precursor to seizing the island by placing it under direct U.S. military commanders at NORTHCOM headquarters at the Cheyenne complex and out of the U.S. European Command's authority in Stuttgart. It means that the USA will no longer recognize it as part of NATO's Europe defense strategy, but places it under the U.S. continental defense planning, just like Alaska. So they're trying to treat it more like Alaska versus it's part of the Kingdom of Denmark. So Donald Trump engaging in more furtive behavior and attacks against Europe, giving them the middle finger while he pathetically hides. As Malcolm Nance says, this is a small but necessary step before Trump's long-awaited annexation, which can only practically be done by armed invasion and military occupation, followed by forced citizenship on the Inuit Greenlanders and expulsion of the European Danes. And don't say that you don't think the Trump regime is going to do this or that it's just puffery. Trump admires Putin. I think one of the things that has stunned Donald Trump into this cowardly retreat, I think it was Ukraine's incredible attack on the Russian Air Force that eliminated 30% of the strategic fleet, 41 major planes, including those capable of engaging in nuclear warfare. I think Trump's saying, oh crap, maybe Ukraine has the cards. What am I doing right now? And so Trump needs to think like he's a big bad guy. And so he's trying to plan what he's doing. Now, while all of this is going on, we got the really bad news yesterday from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. They gave a forecast that the United States economy will be slowing down to 1.6% this year from 2.8% last year. Here's the headline yesterday as Donald Trump again, MIA, ABC News reports, U.S. growth likely to slow to 1.6% this year, hobbled by Trump's trade wars. OECD says the U.S. economic growth will slow to 1.6% this year from 2.8% last year as Donald Trump's erratic trade wars disrupt global commerce, drive up costs, and leave businesses and consumers paralyzed by the uncertainty. For UBS, they've further raised the U.S. recession probabilities. In China, they're ready to play hardball with this Trump regime. They see Trump as weak. Iran sees Trump as weak. Europe, Canada, Australia, everyone sees Trump as just weak. I'm gonna huff and I'm gonna puff and I'll blow you. Shut up, Donald. It's just the shtick is over. You've been exposed. The world knows that you're all bluster. You're all bark, no bite, a paper tiger. Worse than that, you are a MAGA weak mutant, some other vile thing. Now, China is basically saying Trump capitulated. He went from 145% tariffs to 30% tariffs. He's still taxing his own people. China's like, we're going to project stability on the world stage. Let Donald Trump fumble the ball, fumble what the U.S. had built internationally for more than a century. Even look at how Brazil's President Lula is talking about. Brazil's president Lula is like, look, we're trying. This is what a lot of countries say. Like, we're trying to negotiate a deal with Donald Trump, but the U.S. needs to understand it is important to respect the integrity of other countries and institutions in the other countries. And he goes, Lula goes, if there's no agreement on tariffs, we could seek WTO, the World Trade Organization, or take measures of reciprocity. In other words, retaliate. And we're seeing over and over again, right? Whether it's Japan, Brazil, Canada, the European Union, Australia, wherever, it's kind of a common theme that these countries have. They're like, look, India, we want to trade with the U.S. We like the American people. We like American ingenuity and entrepreneurship. American businesses are important, but you can't treat our nations with disrespect. You can't declare economic warfare on our countries and then just expect us to capitulate to you, Donald. You don't hold the cards, Donald. There's an international community out there that holds the cards. And sure, you'll cause damage, yes. Like any bully, you may harm countries. Yes, absolutely. But countries need to protect their sovereignty. So drop the tariffs and let's make real deals. And Trump doesn't want to do that. Trump raises the tariffs against aluminum and steel from 25% to 50%. Just think about this. Trump's broken his fake deal with the United Kingdom already, right? It was a fake deal to begin with. There were no actual terms of the agreement. They had an agreement to agree later to do a deal. It was a memorandum of understanding that on the bottom of it, what the United Kingdom said, this is not a binding trade deal. Well, if you look at what you thought the UK was getting, they thought that they were going to be able to export steel tariff-free, and that was part of the trade-offs. Well, Trump just raised aluminum and steel tariffs from 25% to 50%. Think about the FU to Europe. Think about Canada's the largest exporter of steel. Think about the FU to Canada. But also, think about the FU to all of the American manufacturers, yes, who use steel in their production that aren't necessarily U.S. steel plants, but that steel is a component of the other stuff that they are building. And now you've taxed American corporations 50% more on the steel that they need. What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. So then we have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent late last night. This guy's just the worst. And he's asked on Newsmax about Elon Musk coming out strongly against the disastrous budget bill. And Rand Paul coming out against the disastrous budget bill. And Scott Bessent's like, we're making so much money from the tariffs. All of that tariff money that we're collecting, that will stop the deficit. Here, play this clip.
And making auto loans deductible again. On the other side, we've got tariff income coming in, which I also believe Senator Paul does not like, and that could be substantial.
Yeah.
That over the CBO scoring window of 10 years could be between $2 and $2.5 trillion.
Yeah. Now, the tariff revenue could be exorbitant. It could be a ton of money. It's pretty clear just as it gets started here.
No, it won't. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? First off, our deficit is increasing. The budget deficit is going to increase by trillions of dollars, and just cut it out with this stupid nonsense that we're going to collect all this money and get rich with tariffs. No, we're not. No one even knows what the policy is. You know, it's this one day, it's that the other day, it's pause this day, the fentanyl tariffs, this tariff. It's lunacy. We look like lunatics because of Donald Trump. It is utterly embarrassing. And then this guy goes up here, Scott Bessent, and now, this is how they're framing it now. So you know they're not going to be able to do any deals in 100 days. So now their new line is, the first 100 days were to set up the deals. The next 100 days, we will see the deals. So first 100 days, no deals. Next 100 days, deals. Trust us. Play this clip.
I got 30 seconds left. You're telling our trade partners to bring their best offers this week. The president's going to speak with Xi Jinping later on this week. It sounds like you guys are ready to strike some serious deals and get the tariff situation kind of behind us. Is that right?
Look, Rob, the president in the first 100 days has set the table: peace deal, trade deals, tax deals, and in the next 100 days, we're going to land a substantial number of all three of those categories.
Yeah. Okay. The Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, thank you so much for coming on. It's good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Rob.
Wow. Now, it's possible Donald Trump surfaces today. Who knows? But 48 hours, 72 hours of not seeing this guy? It's actually a good thing. I'm not encouraging him to come out. He could stay back in there. Go back into hiding. Don't conquer. Just shut up and go away. I'd be okay with. I think if he could shut up and go away, and frankly, literally just do nothing. Just literally do what Biden was doing. Just put it on autopilot. And then you can take credit for all of the things. Just take credit for it. GDP goes up. Just take credit for it. That's why literally anybody would be better than Donald Trump, because most people would just listen to what experts say when all of the economists are like, yo, this is going to cause a great recession. Don't do it. Let me do that. No, most people would just listen to the economists. Not Donald. Donald does everything the opposite of what you should do. It's absurd. It's why America's become weak, the laughingstock of the world, because of Donald Trump and the MAGAs. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Midas? Check out the Midas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.